Manchester United 2, Sunderland nil. This is your full-time match reaction from Old Trafford on the Saturday night, where this was the day of destiny for Ruben Amorim. If Manchester United failed to win today, I think we all knew what was going to happen. We were going to end up sacking another manager, and potentially we would have ended up on coach number 9, or at least coach number 10, if United failed to win this weekend. But it's a massive 3 points. A win is a win. We're back to winning ways in the Premier League. We are currently up to 9th now following today's result and performance against Sunderland. It is a huge 3 points because it moves us closer and closer away from danger. Obviously, there's still a lot we can improve on. There's still a lot more that this Manchester United team can give. But I think you've got to be pleased with the performance. You've got to be pleased with the result. And you've got to be pleased with the intensity that Manchester United showed against Sunderland today. And I know a lot of people will say, it's only Sunderland, it's only Sunderland, and it's only Sunderland. But we did need this win today. We did need the 3 points, and that is exactly what we got. Obviously, again, Sunderland are probably going to feel massively robbed by two VAR decisions that didn't go their way. Sunderland had 2 penalty decisions not given. To be fair, if you look back at the replays and if you look at what VAR shown on the screen today, the 2 penalties decisions that Sunderland appealed for are really sad, because neither of the 2 situations that happened leading up to those VAR decisions were penalties. So I don't know what Sunderland are trying to appeal for, because obviously the first Sunderland incident came through Benjamin Sesko, and obviously if you look back at the replay, there is no contact with the Sunderland player. There's no foul on the Sunderland player as well. So I don't know what Sunderland are trying to appeal for. I don't know what they're trying to get out of that decision, because obviously Benjamin Sesko is nowhere near the player. There's no foul being committed. So obviously a lot of time has been wasted there by Sunderland to try and get a penalty that clearly was never going to get given. And then obviously you had the potential foul by, was it Mason Mount and Lemens on the Sunderland player inside our penalty area in the second half, which also didn't get looked at, didn't get checked. And obviously they are going to be felt massively robbed by 2 decisions that probably they felt should have gone their way. But I don't think they're penalties. I don't think you can give 2 penalties for those types of decisions. And I feel like the referee has had a good game today for once. And I think VAR have finally started to get decisions correct today. I think they're not penalties. I think Sunderland trying to appeal for something that clearly was never going to get given was a complete and utter waste of time. Because I think Sunderland obviously came to Old Trafford today full of high hope, full of positivity, and probably had a lot of confidence coming to Old Trafford today, trying to get an unlikely result. But I feel like Sunderland, it really hit home for them today. I felt like, they haven't really faced any of the tough opposition yet. And obviously a lot of people would probably rank us with Sunderland as not one of the best teams at the moment. But I do feel like it hit home today for Sunderland how tough it is to break down the better teams away from home. I think Sunderland's home form is going to be massively important for them to stay up in the Premier League this season. I think their away results are going to be massively important as well. But I think against the usual suspects like your Manchester United, your Man Cities, your Liverpools, your Arsenals, your Chelseas, your Tottenhams, I think it's going to be very tough for Sunderland to stay up still. I do believe they will. They do play good football. They've picked up 11 points from 7 games. So it's not like Sunderland are doing bad. They've had a very good life back in the Premier League so far. I just felt for them today, it hit home a little bit that how tough this league actually is. And obviously, they didn't really create enough attacking opportunities really to scare Manchester United today. Yeah, Sunderland are having a good season and they had a great transfer window. Exactly, Sunderland are having a good season. They've done very well in the transfer window as well. And obviously, I do feel for them today because obviously the lack of quality that they failed to show today was massively telling. I don't think Sunderland really caused Manchester United any big problems in front of goal. And I don't feel like they really created enough to try and get a result today. And obviously, them going down 1-0 quite early on was quite a big shock for them. And obviously, I am pleased by the first goal. The touch, the control, and the finish from Mason Mount. It is a fantastic, fantastic goal. Obviously, a lot of people know I am not Mason Mount's biggest fan. But maybe if Mason Mount can keep himself fit and he doesn't pick up any more injuries, maybe we will finally start to see the best of Mason Mount, because it is a very good goal. It is a very, very good goal. And you have to be pleased for the player, because he's had a lot of critics. He's had a lot of people, targeting him. And a lot of people have been trying to go for Mason Mount quite a bit, including myself. I hold my hands up. Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of Mason Mount. But fair play to him today for the goal and for the finish, because it is a very, very good goal. And obviously that was massively, massively helped from another assist from Bryan Mbeumo, who again today had a good first half, I would say. I think Mbeumo had a fantastic first half again. I think you could tell by the attacking intensity we showed in that first half, Sunderland were really, really scared to even bring down Mbeumo and trying to prevent him from attacking their goal. But you could see in that first half, based on the way we performed, Sunderland really, really struggled to get out. They lost possession quite a lot. They gave the ball away quite a few times. And you could tell by the attacking opportunities that we were creating, they were really, really struggling to keep Manchester United out today. And again, if you've got Bryan Mbeumo on form and he's performing well, he will create problems for Sunderland's back four. And that is exactly what I thought Bryan Mbeumo did today. Soon as he gets the ball and he runs the feet with the ball, Sunderland ended up getting pushed back further and further towards their own goal. And obviously the cross to find Mason Mount, it is a brilliant, brilliant cross. Obviously that shows that we are finally starting to slowly but surely provide service, which again was a big problem last season. You could tell by some of the games we had last season, we didn't really provide any service, and a lot of our players decided to keep the ball and be selfish with their ego. But finally, we are starting to get the ball to the players' feet to provide some service, and that is what we've been lacking so far, I would say, this season. But I felt today we finally started to break down that barrier of being able to get players service, and it has been a long time coming. Like, it has been a long, long time coming that we've started to provide some service today. And again, the ball from Mbeumo is world class. Like, the ball from Mbeumo to find Mount in that position is utterly world class. Like, I'm a big fan of Bryan Mbeumo, and he gives us a different attacking edge to what we need in that Manchester United team. And we were lacking that last season. We've lacked it in the first few games of this season. But I think today, against opposition like Sunderland, when you get Bryan Mbeumo the ball, he will cause Sunderland problems. And that is exactly what he did. He's not selfish. He doesn't think about himself. And he gets the ball to feet. And he gets the ball to his teammates in the right positions at the right time. And to find the ball he found for Mount is brilliant. Because he shows he's not being selfish with the ball. It shows that he's not going to try and do this all himself. And it also shows as well that he's willing to help the team in any way he can. And that's what Bryan Mbeumo is offering that United team. We didn't have that attacking threat last season, but finally we have that attacking threat because he's a Premier League experienced player, and he adds something different and a different dimension of attack to that Manchester United front three. And finally, we are starting to finally put players in the right positions, because obviously we did make a few changes to the team today. We did make a few changes. In my opinion, I was quite worried by the team selection that Ruben Amorim went with. I wouldn't say I was happy with the starting lineup. I was quite confused by some of the players he put these players in their positions in. Again, I still think that does need to be worked on. We need to start playing players in the correct position to make the team a lot more balanced and a lot more defensively solid, as well as going forward as well. But we started to show today, and again, I will just say it was only Sunderland. If this was against better opposition, we'd probably get found out. But again, Sunderland are away from home. It's theoretically their first big test of their season, really, to be honest with you. And I'm not saying Manchester United are a big team anymore, because we have fallen massively from where we were in 2013. But, Sunderland, it is a big test for them away from home, because they do pick up points away from home. But obviously their home form is going to matter for them as well. I still think they're going to stay up. I still think Sunderland will stay up quite comfortably, because they've got a good squad. They've got a good manager. They've got good players. And it shows that you don't really go and have to spend big money to get players in that are not really going to balance their team enough. But I feel like Sunderland's transfer windows really helped them. That Sunderland team looks a lot better than it was last season in the Championship. And they did make us look good today. And Oliver is absolutely right in the live chat. They did make us look good today. Maybe it hit home. Maybe Sunderland thought we're not really going to get anything today. And maybe, to be honest with you, with the rumours we heard last night, if we would have lost today, Ruben Amorim would have been gone bye-bye. Ruben Amorim potentially would have lost his job tonight if we would have lost this game. So maybe, this is just trying to spin a positive. Let's get a good result. Let's take the pressure off the manager. Because again, it is a big test for Amorim. If he would have lost today, I don't think the club or the board would have had no choice but to sack him. And obviously, he's not going to resign. He's not going to quit, is he? Let's be honest. If he resigns, he doesn't get paid out. And if he gets sacked, he knows he's going to get that money. So I think Ruben Amorim has survived another week. And obviously, we are on a 2-week international break, unfortunately, again. So maybe this is just trying to get by, or maybe this result is going to start spinning a few more positives for us. I'm not going to jump the gun too early. I'm not going to say, we're going to go and win 5 or 6 games in a row. I think we've got to be brought back down to earth with a bump. Because obviously, if you look who we've got straight after the international break, we've got Liverpool away at Anfield. And obviously, Liverpool at the moment are 1-0 down to Chelsea. So it looks like it's going to be 3 defeats in 3 for Liverpool as it currently stands. So Liverpool's form at the moment is terrible. Lost to Galatasaray, lost to Crystal Palace, and they're now currently losing 1-0 to Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. So obviously there is a 2-week break for them and for us during these international games that we've got this week. So maybe we can go to Anfield and there will be a massive positive effect for us, because Liverpool are on a backward step under Arne Slot. What Nottingham Forest used to be like Tottenham used to be, it's over for Man United, man, it's never changed. They look all over the place at the minute. It says United isn't beating Liverpool at Anfield. I think you've got to take the positives from this result. You've got to take the 3 points. You have to take the positives. At least we've won today, and at least our weekend hasn't been ruined. I think if we would have lost this game today, going in tomorrow and Monday, I think a decision by the board and the football club would have had to have been made. If we would have lost today, Amorim would have been gone. Amorim would have lost his job. I think he's surviving for now. I think he's trying to get by and try and pick up a few results here and there. Amorim has survived today, but it doesn't guarantee he's going to survive against Liverpool at Anfield. But then again, every time we've gone to Anfield, we've always got decked. We've literally got dicked. Every time we've gone to Anfield, we've lost, and it's been by a heavy scoreline. But obviously, you take the positives from today. You've got the 3 points, you've got the win. We've gone up a few places up to the Premier League table. And a lot of people say, well, you're only up to 8th, you're only up to 9th. It's not exactly going to matter a lot where you are at the moment. But at least we won today. If we would have lost today, the weekend would have been ruined. It would have been a very difficult situation for this fan base and for the supporters of this football club. So you've got to take the positives. And we also kept a clean sheet, which is also a massive step in the right direction for this football club. It's a massive step in the right direction. We didn't concede today. We kept a clean sheet. And that is down, again, to Sunderland not really having a lot of goal-scoring opportunities on goal. If you look at that Sunderland team, I don't know a lot of their players. I'm going to be really honest about it. I don't know a lot of their players. So, at the end of the day, I think, it's hit home for Sunderland today, like how tough this is going to be when they face the bigger teams, because they're going to struggle to pick up points. But I still think they're going to stay up. I don't think they're going to get relegated. I think Sunderland will stay up very, very comfortably. If they keep performing the way they're performing, and maybe they add a few attacking reinforcements in January, then maybe Sunderland are going to shock us. Maybe Sunderland might get top 10, maybe finish about mid-table. I think Sunderland fans would probably take that. And another season in the Premier League. And then they add to the current squad they've got and keep the manager they have. Sunderland are going to become a big, big force again. Because I didn't expect Sunderland to come up last season in that playoff final. I fully expected Sheffield United to be a Premier League club. And what Sunderland have done, they've changed the dynamic of this division up. Because Sheffield United did come up, it would have been very, very boring to see a lot of the relegated clubs come back up to the Prem. And Sunderland are doing something different. So that's a positive from their direction. Sunderland, there's a lot of positives from today's result, even though they lost 2-0. They're probably feeling robbed. We drew 2-2 there last season, so we haven't always been beaten at Anfield. Again, that is a massive, massive point that has to be considered. We drew 2-2 at Anfield last season. We've won today. Liverpool have lost their last 3 games, lost their last 2 games, and they're losing again tonight. If Liverpool do lose tonight, then Liverpool are starting to fall apart under Slot in Season 2, which is a big shock. I don't know what's going on at Anfield at the moment, and I don't know what's going wrong at Liverpool. Is it the effect of not having Ekitike and maybe Alisson as well? Maybe Liverpool are struggling without their better players. I'm not exactly sure what's going on at Anfield at the moment. I don't know what's going wrong with Slot and Liverpool, but something doesn't seem right there. And us winning today and Liverpool losing their last 3 games in a row, it's only going to give us confidence, and it's only going to give us some kind of positive to take away from home after the international break. Because we know Liverpool are struggling at the moment, and we don't know the reasons why they're struggling. But again, we take this win today. If we can take this performance and maybe grab a point at Anfield, or maybe sneak a lucky 1-0 win, then I will take that and I will be very, very happy. And again, I completely agree. It's only Sunderland. You're absolutely right. You are absolutely right. It is only Sunderland. A lot of people say don't get too carried away. And I'm not going to get carried away, because there's no point jumping the gun too early and saying we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to do this, and we're going to do that. We need to steady the ship now and take the positive from this result today and take that to Anfield when we play Liverpool away after the international break. Because if we can sneak something at Anfield, the positivity will start coming back. Again, I only think this is paper in the cracks, by the way. I do feel the win today is only going to paper the cracks for a little bit. Because if we come back from international break and we get dicked, then a lot of people, again, are going to call for Ruben Amorim to go. He got a lot right today, finally. He got a lot right. And you've got to give him credit. You've got to give him credit. He got a lot right today. And Biz has just said in the live chat, United have got no defence and they've got no midfield. Again, that team does need working on. And the midfield and the defence, I think, are 2 positions in that team that drastically need sorting ASAP. Because again, you've still got Bruno Fernandes as a number 10 in the midfield too with Casemiro. And again, I don't understand why we still play Bruno in the midfield too. It doesn't really make any sense, because his best position is a lot more further forward in the number 10 position. And unfortunately, we're only putting Bruno in the midfield too because he's got Mbeumo and Mount in front of him in the 2 number 10 positions behind Benjamin Sesko, who's our main striker. So again, that does need changing, because it doesn't balance the team enough, and it doesn't really give us that much of a balance in the midfield. I do think it throws things massively, massively in a negative way. I don't think that's making the midfield look any good, because I don't want Fernandes in the midfield too. I want him in the number 10. But the problem is you've got Matthias Cunha, you've got Mbeumo, you've got Mount. Like, we've still got so many number 10s, and we're struggling to juggle how many number 10s we can fit in the same team. And to be honest with you, you only really need 2 number 10s, 2 main central midfielders, and then your striker. If you take Fernandes out that team, it makes us look a lot better. In my opinion, it makes us look a lot better. Because I don't like Fernandes in the midfield too. I like him a lot more further forward. Generally never felt so much at ease after watching the men. Still worried about Liverpool though. Yeah, you've still got the right to worry, because I'm worried about Liverpool too. Because this result probably is only going to paper everything. I'm not going to jump the gun and get too carried away. And hello to Jane in my live chat, who is one of my best friends and one of my managing moderators on my TikTok. Massive shout to her. And a massive shout out for the win we got earlier on Fortnite, by the way. That was an epic win earlier on. And I will be back on after I've done my match reaction, because I'm free this evening after that. So mass shout out to Jane in the live chat as well. But yeah, look, I'm not going to get too carried away with today, because it is only Sunderland. Don't get too carried away. And let's take the positives from the result. Let's try and sneak something at Anfield, and let's try and get another win. Because if Liverpool's form at the moment keeps dropping, the things at Liverpool are only going to get a lot worse. I don't know what's going wrong with Liverpool. I don't know what's going wrong with them, but something clearly isn't right there. But we can't think about them. We have to think about ourselves here. That's the main thing we have to do. You take the positives and you take the confidence from this result. You take it to Anfield, and let's try and do something there against Liverpool. Sneak a point or sneak a lucky win, I will take it 100%. Because we don't really deserve to go there and win based on what we've done so far this season. And they still are a massively better football club than what we are. They are still massively miles ahead of us. And they have got better players, they've got a more balanced shape, and they've got a lot more balanced midfield. And to be fair, they've probably got a better defence than us, because you've got Van Dijk in there, Konate, you've got Frimpong, you've got Kirkes. And if you look at their midfield shits all over ours. Like, their midfield absolutely puts ours to shame. And you have to call a spade a spade. They've massively got better players than what we've got. But the problem is, if the morale at Liverpool keeps dropping, the more chance we've got at Anfield to get something in 2 weeks. And it's a shame we are going on this 2-week international break again. It's always funny. When we go on international break, we win. And when we come back after an international break, it all goes to shit again. That is because you're taking the flow of the positivity and the confidence that you've got with today's result out of the window, because you're sending all these players away for a pointless international break again. Like, I can't believe 2 weeks of internationals. Like, I don't get why we do this. I think international football really needs to be scrapped. The international friendlies are pointless. The UEFA Nations League is pointless, and so's the World Cup qualifying. And it always happens. We get a win today, we go on an international break for 2 weeks, and the momentum you build from today's result goes out the window because everybody's away for 2 weeks. So we can't go back to back in any game that we compete in, because they're sending these players on stupid international games that are pointless in the world. Some of these international breaks are pointless. The World Cup qualifying is pointless. The qualifying for the Euros is pointless. The UEFA Nations League is fucking pointless. It really is stupid. And I don't know why we have to send these players away, because you're taking the momentum away from the result and the confidence that you've got today, and you're going on international breaks again. Like, really? Because this has done us the world of good. This result today has done a massive positive for this football club. And I'm glad we've won today. I'm really glad that we've actually won today, because it puts me in a good mood. I'm not unhappy. I'm not annoyed. I'm not pissed off. I'm actually glad we've actually got a win, because it's actually nice to celebrate something that, you know, you care about and you want to do well in. And that's what they've done today. That is exactly what Manchester United have done today. They've actually made this fan base relax a little bit, and it takes the pressure off Ruben Amorim as well, because he deep down knows results can't keep carrying on. He deep down knows if this carries on, he is going to lose his job. He is going to lose his job. But again, this one win might undo things dramatically. We go to play Liverpool at Anfield and we get stuffed more than a Christmas turkey. I mean, when you stuff the Christmas turkey at Christmas, that stuffing, that is basically what might happen at Anfield in a few weeks' time. And we don't want that. I don't want to get stuffed by Liverpool. I want to go there and try and get something while the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Let's go to Anfield and let's fucking prove a point. Let's go there and try and sneak a result that looks massively unlikely on paper. But if Liverpool's form continues, they're going into that international break. The morale's low. The confidence is gone and Slot is starting to struggle. Is it second season syndrome for Liverpool? Is it second season syndrome? Because you never know what it could be. It could be second season syndrome for Liverpool Football Club. It really, really could be second season syndrome for Liverpool. It really could be. I'm not saying that it is, though. I'm not saying it is second season syndrome. But let's be honest. They lose today. They've lost their last two also. 3 defeats in a row for Liverpool. Are they missing Alisson? Are they missing Ekitike? Because something's clearly not right. And I think United players are going to look at this today and thinking, right, yes, our season's been shit. Yes, we've been really poor. But let's go to Anfield and let's prove a point. We've been shit so far. We've not got the results we've wanted and we've not been playing well enough. Again, people will say, it's only Sunderland. It's only Sunderland. You've got Liverpool next. You're going to go there and you're going to get stuffed more than a turkey does. And you never know, it might happen. We might go to Anfield and we'll get dicked. But I'm not saying we're going to get dicked. Because if you look at Liverpool's results, I'm just going to put it out there, the more Liverpool start to lose confidence in the Slot and the players keep performing the way they are, it might end up in a situation where they might be sacking their manager, we keep ours, we go to Anfield and win, and then we build on that momentum. Because we're only on 10 points from 7, by the way. We're only on 10 points from 7 games. If someone would have said to me, would you take 10 points from your first 7? Absolutely not. I would no way say at this point of the season, where we are realistically, I wouldn't actually say we would be 10 points from 7 games. I would be really honest and just say, I wouldn't expect to be on 10 points from 7 games. I didn't expect this at the start of the season. No way. I thought we would at least be on a few more points. But that is because how bad the results have been. And again, United are going to spin a positive. I'm happy, by the way. It's actually nice to get a win, get some momentum and get some confidence back into these players. And also, I'm happy for some of these performances as well. Because if you think about it, when you see the team sheet, you do worry. You do worry by some of the players that Ruben Amorim is putting in. You do worry by some of the players Amorim picks and some of the positions that he's playing in. When you see Bruno in the midfield next to Casemiro, you think, here we go again. And you do have to think here we go again because we all deep down know Bruno Fernandes needs to be played further forward in the number 10. I think we do need to do that in the future and maybe drop Mason Mount. But the problem is at the moment, we know Amorim's a big fan of Mount and fair play, it paid off today. Because I didn't want Mason Mount to start. I am not a big fan of his. I didn't want Mount to start, but his control and the touch and the turn from the finish is fantastic. It is a very, very good goal. And that probably is going to get Manchester United's Goal of the Month award. Because you know what Manchester United are like with Mason Mount? They absolutely love him, don't they? So it's probably going to get the Goal of the Month award for Manchester United's goals that have been scored in the month of October. And obviously it paid off today for Ruben, thank God. I think if Mount would have had a bad game, there would have been questions why Mount started that game in the first place. For me, I want Mount out of the team longer term, and so Fernandes as well, because I don't like Mount in that number 10 position, even though he is a number 10. He did a lot right today. Again, he got his goal. It was a fantastic goal. Good bit of service from Mbeumo as well to find Mount in that position. And the control, the touch and the turn for the finish for the 1-0 opening lead is a fantastic goal. Fair play to Mason Mount for taking it in that position and fair play for him putting the ball in the net. Fair play to him because that is only going to give Mount confidence going forward as a Man United player that he's starting to find the ball in the back of the net on a bit more.
Let me go in your hand with your badge.
Yeah, that's fine. On a consistent basis. He is starting to find his confidence again because Mount has been riddled with injuries. But to be fair to him, if he keeps himself fit and he can produce what he's produced today, he will become a more better and more consistent player on a consistent basis. That is what Manchester United and Ruben Amorim are looking for in that team. They are looking for that, and thank God it happened today because that starting Mount paid off, getting us 1-0 up, built on the confidence to get more goals to finish that Sunderland team off. And we did need to find the second goal because it did take a while to find the second goal. Let's be honest, when you went 1-0 up, The game did die down a little bit. There was a lack of attacking threat after that. But again, I think the second goal comes down to Sunderland's really, really poor defending to defend from a long throw. Like, again, I don't know why we've turned into Stoke City. Like, we're not Stoke, we're not Rory Delap, and now we're now working on long throws inside our own penalty area. And in the opposition's, we're working on a long throw system, which again I don't get, because we're not Stoke, we're not in the fucking Championship, we're not Stoke City. We're going now down the route of let's put a long throw into the box to see if it paid off. And again, that today did pay off. One long throw has undone this. I know you said Fulham then. One long throw has undone the Sunderland back four massively. One long throw into their box and it's carved Sunderland's defence wide open, because we've managed to benefit and find that second goal. Yeah, I nearly said Fulham. And I'm so glad I didn't, because we were playing Sunderland. That would have looked really, really silly. I'm from the UK. If you're new to my TikTok, give me a follow, smash the like button. Would really, really appreciate it. So yeah, so long one throw. I can't get my words out now. One long throw in into the Sunderland box has undone their back four massively. And I don't know which Sunderland player. I'm from the UK. That's all I'm saying. I'm from the UK. What game was you watching yet? One long throw in inside the. I know you said Fulham again. One long throw in into the Sunderland penalty area. Exactly. Absolutely right. UK is all you need to know. Exactly. Thank you. At least someone puts a bit of certainty on things. Thank you. Asking me where I'm from. But yeah, like one long throw in inside the Sunderland penalty area has absolutely undone their back four. And I don't know who got the final. I know the ball came off the Sunderland head inside their own penalty area, and I don't know which Sunderland player that was, but he's got the final touch on for Sesko's goal. And again, fair play to Benjamin Sesko, one touch finish into the back of the net. And a lot of people say Benjamin Sesko is not good enough. He ain't putting the ball in the net. He's just another Rasmus Højlund. He's going to become a problem again. Yeah, 2 goals in 2 games. And he's actually starting to contribute. 2 goals in 2 games. That's 100% consistency. So I'm very, very happy for Sesko today. I mean, a lot of people, again, including myself, were struggling 5 games in with him because he didn't find he hasn't put the ball in the net. But 2 games in, back to back, he's found the back of the net twice in 2 occasions, which is massive, massive positive for him, because it does show that Benjamin Sesko is starting to settle down with life in European football. He's starting to settle down with Manchester United, and he's now starting to put the ball in the net, because again, it does come through a Sunderland header that's fallen to him inside their own penalty area for him to put the ball in the net. He is a better footballer than Gyökeres, yeah. I absolutely agree. I think Sesko is 10 times a better striker than what Victor Gyökeres is doing. Like, is Gyökeres banging in the goals in, week out? No, he's not. So I'm really, really glad we went for Sesko in the end, and I'm really happy for him today. And I'm glad he's made his contribution towards the result today, because 2 goals in 2 games is a massive positive for him. He can build on that confidence. He can build on the momentum he's starting to build, and he will start feeling a lot better about himself as well, because he does have his critics. A lot of people don't rate Sesko, but I do. And people have absolutely got a right to an opinion, an absolute right to a view, but it doesn't mean we always have to agree. We all can disagree with people's views and opinions, but as long as it's respected, that's the main important thing. And like I always say on here, everyone's views and opinions are always, always respected. So I would say Sunderland's, defending for both goals is really, really... It is embarrassing from Sunderland's perspective. And he could have got an assist today, exactly. Sesko could have got an assist today. And if we would have pulled that off and made it 3-0, then that would have been the icing on the cake. But again, I'm happy with a 2-0 win. We've kept a clean sheet. But again, you would have to say from a Sunderland perspective, both their goals today they've conceded are really, really poor. because none of those Sunderland players get close enough to Mason Mount for the first goal. Like, if you've got an attacking player who can provide an attacking threat, you've got to be man marking the players. And obviously, there was no Sunderland player getting that ball off Mount, and no one was really trying to block the Mason Mount shot or the turn. The Sunderland player has been done very, very quickly. And I don't think the Sunderland players responded to the body motion that Mount has shown in that moment to twist and turn with the ball and unleash that shot. I think the Sunderland player probably thinks Mason Mount's going to bring the ball down with his feet onto his body and lay the ball off to another United player around him. I don't think the Sunderland player has anticipated Mason Mount turning in that motion to unleash that shot. The 2 touches are incredible, though. Like, fair play to Mount for the 2 touches. To bring it down, control, and then shoot, that is what you call a fantastic, fantastic goal, because that skill is very, very difficult to pull off. But again, it's down to poor Sunderland defending. You need to be man-marking your players. And no Sunderland player gets out to Mason Mount. So theoretically, he's allowed a free shot on goal. And again, if that happened to us, then I would have said, well, no one's closing down the shot. No one's trying to win the ball off Mason Mount. And no one's really trying to defend that ball from going into the net. So in that aspect, Sunderland, I think, would be disappointed by the defending for the first goal, because it's preventable and preventable quite quickly if Sunderland learn how to man-mark their players. And obviously, again, they're probably going to learn a lot from that, because it was preventable. Shots take, what are you saying? Well, for the great finish, you haven't played football. Yeah, I haven't played football, okay. That's all I'm saying. Apparently, I haven't played football in life. Right, okay. What's your thoughts on Lemens? I feel comfortable with him. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about Lemens near the end of the match reaction. And yeah, I think, again, for the second goal, from a Sunderland perspective, again, I would also say, and if we've got any manager moderators in the live chat, can we just sort out a few things, please, as well? I can't believe, people have to go on people personally. I haven't played football at a high level. Okay. Just going to leave it there while, my moderators sort... Thank you. That's what you call having great friends and great moderators, because they support you and they also help you out in your life. And I appreciate what everybody does for me. And massive shout out to those people in the live chat for doing that. And Arita says, up Man United, exactly. If you're new to my TikTok, give me a follow. Smash the like button as well, would be really, really appreciated. But yeah, again, for the second goal, to get undone by one long throw into the Sunderland box is, again, very poor, because, again, after the second goal conceded, did you see the amount of Sunderland players huddling together, and that one Sunderland player was going in on that and that and that and that and that? Did you see the Sunderland huddle between 4 or 5 of those players for as soon as the second goal went in? Those Sunderland players were losing their shit. But in fact, the guy who started blaming everyone else should be looking at himself, because if you think about it, he was at fault for the second Man United goal. If Liverpool actually scored, for fuck's sake, have they actually? Apparently Liverpool have scored, oh goody. Oh, they've scored, have they? Oh, they fucking have as well. For fuck's sake. They actually have as well. Liverpool have actually just scored. But yeah, Liverpool have just scored. But yeah, again, if you look at the Sunderland huddle after the second goal, he's absolutely blaming that player and that player and that player. And it's well, maybe look at your own mistake, because he has got the flick on from the ball onto his head, and it's fell to Sesko, and Sesko's with a one-touch finish. So I don't know why that Sunderland player has gone in on the rest of his teammates, where it is him at fault for the second goal. So, in the last 10 years minimum, I've never seen United huddle before a game or after half time. That is very, very true. It's a good thing that, because we've been 8th if it stays. Yeah, again, it's not... The result today hasn't exactly climbed us up the league table like Miley Cyrus's The Climb. I mean, we've got a long mountain to climb, and I think Miley Cyrus' song's probably a lot better than what we are. But at least it's moved us up a few spots. I think we started 15th or 14th at the start of the day. And I think we've moved up to 8th as it currently stands. So that Liverpool equaliser's kind of helped us. Again, it's not exactly helped us, but I would take 8th over starting 14th or 15th by the end of the day. I think we'd have lost, it would have been a joke, but 3 points is 3 points, a win is a win. And yeah, again, I'm happy for Sesko because he's proving a point to people. Like, he's massively, massively proving a point. But again, if Liverpool won't be confident with a draw, exactly. Liverpool, I don't think are going to be happy with a draw today. They need to win that game. But a late Chelsea win would be fantastic. But I think Liverpool would be happy with a point before going on to international break. But I think if you've got to give anyone credit, I didn't expect to win today, like, be real. Exactly, I didn't expect to win today. I thought United were going to lose today, and I thought this weekend's going to be horrific. But again, I think it's only papering over the cracks. Like, just because we've won today doesn't mean we're going to get anything at Anfield, because that's who we play after the international break. Sunderland were playing good, very good. Yeah, Sunderland in some aspects of that game played good football. But again, I think they really cut that. I think they really lacked that cutting attacking edge today, and I think that's why Sunderland failed to create many goal scoring opportunities and many attacking chances. I think that's why Sunderland struggled the way they did struggle today. So I think Sunderland will learn a lot from today's performance. I think, again, their defending for both goals is quite amateurish. Again, they are a promoted club. They've done a lot better than what some people have done, like Burnley and Leeds. So Sunderland, I think, can be proud of their efforts today. I don't think they're going to go down. I don't think they're going to get relegated. And I think they'll comfortably survive in this division as long as everyone around them keeps losing. I think Sunderland fans take the positives from today. You put in a good performance, you put in a good shift, but obviously the lack of quality you didn't show today has obviously cost them. And again, they're probably going to feel robbed by 2 VAR decisions that they thought should have gone their way. But in our view and in our opinion, you look back at the replays and VAR, neither of the decisions they had appealed for were anywhere near being given as a penalty. But if you have to give credit to one player today, finally, we've had the balls to actually start our new goalkeeper in goal. Like, thank God we've actually found the balls to do that. Because, again, we've been stuck with Onana, we've been stuck with Binder, and it's about time that goalkeeper got given a chance. Liverpool are bad after international breaks. Exactly, another very good point. But fair play today for actually giving Lemens a start. Fair play for Amrim actually picking him. I think, again, is it down to board pressure? Is it down to Ineos pressure? Or is it simply down to Binder is basically shit? And I think, again, Lemens today did not pull off anything bad. Lemens today was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I heard the chant that said, you Schmeichel in disguise. It's still Liverpool miles ahead of us. Exactly, that is very, very true. Again, Lemens did not put a foot wrong today. Yes, there was a little bit of an incident but in the second half where they thought the goalkeeper clattered that Sunderland player. And again, if you look back at the replays, he goes nowhere near this Sunderland player. And again, they're appealing like it was the end of the world. Like, it wasn't even a penalty. But again, if you look at the only really decent save Lemens had to pull off was the shot outside of the United penalty area. And apart from that, he did fuck all wrong. But what I liked from him, to be fair, to be honest, all day he was trying to find Sesko. Exactly. That's another positive. The amount of times we pushed that ball so far long up was to get the ball to Sesko, and that's called that's called long ball football. So again, I don't want to keep doing that. But again, if it's better than playing out of the back and playing it short, then fair enough. That is what I want to do. I hate playing it short because you only put yourself into danger and it only causes the attacking opposition to attack us because we're playing it short out of our own box. What I liked about Lemens, that saved he pull off from the shot that Sunderland had outside of the United penalty area, and the late chance that Sunderland had at the end. Apparently Sunderland had one late chance on goal, and again he pulled that save off. That performance today speaks volumes about how bad our goalkeeping's been. And again, Lemens is in a completely new division, completely new league, completely new country. He's only been playing in the Belgian league with Royal Antwerp. The Premier League is faster, more dynamic, a lot more of an attacking threat, and you have to make sure that you're not conceding goals. He doesn't put a foot wrong. Like, his first game in, he doesn't put a foot wrong. He doesn't make any goalkeeping mistakes. At least he puts the ball out for corners and at least being able to keep the ball in play. And at least he isn't fumbling the ball with his hands. And at least he's not making any mistakes. One game in, I'm very impressed. And that is the goalkeeper we've been looking for God knows how many seasons. We've actually got a goalkeeper that can actually pull off saves, that can actually keep clean sheet. If I was Binder, if I was Onana right now, I would be fucking shitting myself. I'd literally be having the shits, because after that goalkeeping performance today, it goes to show that the goalkeeper was a big problem. Binder and Onana were a massive, massive issue at this club. Look at today. Look at today. And again, like someone just said in the live chat, we can't overreact. Which is very important. We can't overreact to this today. We can't overreact to just one good goalkeeping performance. Again, it's only Sunderland. It is only Sunderland. Let's be honest again. I'll keep saying it. It's only Sunderland. Like, let's not get too carried away. Let's not overreact way too much. But I would say, from what I've seen from Le Mans today, it shows that Onana and Binder were a big issue. And one performance, one game in, and Le Mans is pulling off saves here, there and everywhere. And it's actually keeping the ball out of our net. It shows how bad Binder's been. It shows how bad Onana's been. And it shows how bad the recruitment was to bring those two goalkeepers in. One was down to Ten Hag, and then the second one was down to Ten Hag. So Ten Hag brought in two massive, massive problems in between the sticks, thinking they were going to be a solution. It goes to show, based on what you've seen today, Le Mans is 10 times better than Binder. He is 10 times better than Onana. And at least he keeps the ball out of the net and he doesn't fumble the ball or plays the ball out short. The catching from free kicks was good to see that. Exactly. That's another thing. He's not afraid to come out his penalty area and claim the ball. And also what I like is his communication. He shouts at the United players around him. He barks orders to the others to do this, that and the other. Onana didn't do that. Binder didn't do that. And that shows Binder and Onana's confidence was shot. Because they couldn't do that. They didn't feel like they could do that. Le Mans has come in and has started barking like a dog. Like, I'm sorry. That shows what a leader we've got in goal. And yeah, he's our brand new goalkeeper, and he's actually doing a job that those two shits couldn't do. Le Mans shits all over him. He absolutely shits all over these two goalkeepers. And I thought, you know what, this is a risk. The only thing Onana did was screaming at Harry Maguire in the first friendly. Exactly. Soon as Onana made that mistake in his first game, and it was at Old Trafford, was it against? Who was it against? Was it Fiorentina? Somebody like that? Can't remember what team it was. That's when it went downhill for Onana. Look at it now. It was Lens. That is it. That was the French team Lens, wasn't it? Look at it now. You've got a goalkeeper who's not afraid to bark orders. You've got a goalkeeper who's not afraid to tell these players what to do. Onana was scared, and so was Binder. And that shows those confidence, those goalkeepers wasn't there to do that. Le Mans is in one game and he's already doing that. And it shows, you know what? We've got a good goalkeeper here. And again, I was very sceptical when we signed him because I wanted Emi Martinez. But based on today and based off the game of what I've watched, because I've watched the whole 94 minutes today, that is a world-class performance. And I think, to be fair, if everybody agrees in the live chat, he's got to get player of the match. I think you've got to give it him. Because clean sheet, match one, pulling world-class save here, world-class save there, that shows how good of a goalkeeper he actually is. And when he's given a chance and an opportunity, then this is what he can do. This is what he can do as a goalkeeper. And I'm so pleased for him. Because I was doubtful. But looking at it now, we've made the right decision starting him in goal. Fair play for Amrin for actually doing it today. If we would have started Binder, then I think we would have had problems. Because those Sunderland players would have targeted our goalkeeper because they know how vulnerable he is. Today, the Sunderland are a good side. I'm not taking anything away from Sunderland. They're going to stay up. They're not going to get relegated. They're going to be absolutely fine. Sunderland fans out there, if you're watching, you're going to be fine. You're not going to get relegated. You're going to stay up. You've got no issues here. But it shows that we have got a goalkeeper who doesn't make mistakes. And that's a positive that I like. We've got a goalkeeper at last, one game in, who isn't afraid to turn up, who isn't afraid to show his all. That is exactly what Lamens did today in goal between the sticks of Manchester United. And I think, to be fair, he gets player of the match by an absolute mile. He gets player of the match. His saves he's pulled off, his instructions, his leadership, his quality, and a lack of Premier League experience as well. One game in, that is only going to do him a world of good. And hopefully he's going to get bigger and better with us. And if he keeps performances up like this, he will become our new number one goalkeeper very, very quickly. And it will end Onana's career at here. And thank you for the heart, me. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the gift there. Thank you very, very much for that. Not much about Kuna today. Didn't really do a lot in the second half, but I think we've got to celebrate the men's performance today. Player of the match, performance of the match, debut in goal for the club, doesn't put a foot wrong. He gets player of the match. So we've beaten Sunderland 2-0 at Old Trafford. We finally have a win on the weekend. You can relax for a little bit, United fans, but that relaxation might not be long because we've got a 2-week break now for international football for 2 bloody weeks again. And as soon as we're back off that international break, we play Liverpool at Anfield away from home. And Alto's been playing for the start of the season, exactly. We've got Liverpool away at the start after the international break at Anfield. And the way things are going at Liverpool at the moment, they lost to Palace, lost to Galatasaray, and they're not beating Chelsea. Can we get something at Anfield? Can we take a point? Can we get a sneaky 1-0 win? I would like to think we could, and I hope we can, because anything's possible, but this result could be papering over the cracks. But you never know what can happen with this football club. But we've got the win today, we've got the 3 points, and it's a huge, huge win for this football club. And Ruben Amorim has survived for another week. But if we go to Anfield and get stuffed more than a Christmas turkey, then that could be a big problem for Amorim and this football club. But thank you for everybody that's tuned in. Thank you for all the likes and the gifts and all the new followers become part of this today. Thank you also to my manager moderators who look after me and my TikTok as well. You're absolutely amazing, amazing individuals. And you're all amazing, amazing people and friends to me personally as well. We'll be back for a match reaction in 2 weeks' time because we've got international break now. And that first game back is away to Liverpool at Anfield. Could we get a point? Could we sneak a lucky 1-0 win? Or are we going to get stuffed more than a turkey? And we know how stuffed turkeys get at Christmas. Could happen to us. But we got a point there last season. We could get a result there again the way Liverpool are. Thanks to everybody that's tuned in. Stay safe. Be nice. Be kind to each other. You're all legends. You're all legendary. And I'll see all of you amazing people on the next one.